What do you propose a woman should do if she bears a child after being raped by her father or any of her relatives?
It's a very good question. So like incest or rape.
Yes.
And this is, I mean, it's horrific, and it happens. Unfortunately, it's something that happens too much, not just in our society, but elsewhere, other places. And I would say, first of all, if you are a perpetrator of rape or incest, you need to be held to the fullest extent of the law accountable. I mean, that's a depraved act. And the woman or the child that experienced that abuse needs to also be given the max amount of support and healing opportunities that they could be given. But I would say that if pregnancy does result from that act of violence and abuse, and a new life, a human life comes into existence, that human life doesn't deserve the death penalty for the crimes of his or her father. I don't know if people know this, but in the United States, there's no state where it is legal to give somebody the death penalty for rape. So if you're a rapist, you cannot receive the death penalty in this country. It's only if you're actually a murderer. So we don't even give the death penalty to rapists in this country. And I'm not saying we should, but we should not be giving the death penalty to a child who's the result of a rape, whose life comes into being because of a rape or an act of abuse. And I would also say that for a woman who's experienced abuse, or a child, a young girl who's experienced incest, abortion is not going to be a path of healing for her. Abortion is not some healing medicine for a rape survivor or an incest survivor. Abortion's another act of violence against her, and then now against a second innocent party, that child in her womb. So we need to find ways to support and love that woman or that girl who's now carrying a child in her survival and in her, healing from the victimization, but not resort to a second act of violence and abortion to somehow do away with the first act of violence.
Thank you.
Thanks. One other note there too, I've been privileged to meet some people that have actually been either children conceived in rape or birth mothers who were raped, some of them very young. And it's been incredible to hear their stories because they share about how the rape was a horrific violence for them, but the fact that there's a new life that's come into being because of it, and now that has an opportunity to do good in the world, has been actually part of their healing. So these are stories I've heard. And there's another, what's that? Even through horrific cases like incest, yes. There's a group called Save the One, which you guys might want to write down. And some of these stories, incest and rape, are shared on this website. It's Save the One, save the, and then the number one. And it's these stories of survivors of rape and incest who were either conceived in rape and incest or were actually the victims of rape or incest who had their children, or maybe were told to abort, maybe they aborted, but share how abortion was not healing for me. Abortion was not a thing that would have helped me, but it actually would have hurt me more, and I'm so grateful for this new life.